Hello, I'm Chris Williams from Read Comics, They're Bad For You, my YouTube channel. Or if you're watching this on BitChute, Comic Freak. Today we're going to be talking about the hype and all the hyperboil about the ESA data leak. Let's see, we'll start off with Michael Gallagher. The ESA president who defends loot boxes and warns against government regulation. The real kicker is that he says that if there is regulation, that it will prevent the game industry from innovating. Yes, you heard it right. Somehow being able to duke people out of money will somehow stop people innovatively making newer and better games. Well, that's a lie. If anything, you're just going to make people not want to play your games, Michael Gallagher. He also reiterated the opinion of several game publishers that loot boxes are not gambling because the person getting the loot box is going to get something out of it either way, even though that something is probably not as much as he paid for. So if it's all like random, it does come off as gambling if you get something big, but if you pay and get something lower than what you paid for, that still comes off as gambling. Now, how does this relate to what's happening? Well, Jason Schreier, who's defending Michael Gallagher and the ESA because of the data leak. Now, the ESA says that it was a security vulnerability in their website, but in fact, it was actually publicly listed on their website under Media Tools. This data leak basically listed all the names, addresses, and whereabouts of YouTubers and game journalists that had been using the ESA website. Now, Jason Schreier has gone on to ridicule Sophia Norwitz for breaking this story, and that her irresponsibility over covering this led to the data leak becoming known. And if she hadn't stuck her nose into it, no one would have found out about it. Yes, no one would have found out about it, my butt. That's names, addresses of people who actually live and work in this community, who in this age of doxing and swatting, where people have even died over this, could possibly be killed or hurt, maimed, and apparently this goes over your head, Jason. Now, as you see, because the ESA had this information publicly listed, and then it shouldn't have, because it needed to be protected and no one should ever be able to know about it or see it. You know, all the journalists and YouTubers who were using that site for themselves and who were expecting to be able to use the ESA website without the fear of being doxxed. And not doxxed out of maliciousness, out of stupidity, because they didn't fix any problems like having the information publicly listed, where any Tom, Dick, and Harry could just look it up because they were just keyed in a bunch of buttons on their laptop and ended up finding their personal information. This could have led to something truly horrible happening to those people. And because the ESA is basically in control of the E3 event, this could look very bad on the E3 event going forward into the future, as well as the various companies that are affiliated with the ESA or are part of their various, I'm just going to call it their niche. Well, because of the fact that ESA had a publicly accessible spreadsheet listing all of the information of, as I've said, YouTubers and game journalists, as well as Twitch streamers and other associated people. Well, this looks very bad to the various companies like Bethesda, EA, and other games that ESA are affiliated with. And as I've said before in other videos, the goodwill that Bethesda Game Studios has over re-releasing the original Doom games, but lost a great deal of it when they made every gamer have to sign up with a Bethesda account? Well, it looks like you're going to lose even more goodwill now, even when you do say that you won't interfere in Call of Duty Modern Warfare and just leave it a non-SJW game. But it looks like because you're affiliated with ESA, EA as well is going to be, circling the drain as their goodwill and public image is deteriorated a bit. All over the fact that Jason Schreier just had to go and attack the journalist Sophia Norwitz over the fact she broke this story. She even went so far as to get as much information and look as any way possible to make sure no one could be harmed by this. In fact, she wasn't even the first person that came up or out with this story. This story first broke in February. She's only the one to get ridiculed for this because she was not liked by ESA or other game companies because she's for the customer. I guess with Bethesda, they continue to make mistakes. As I said, you can see here them having you get a Bethesda account. And even though they're only related to ESA, it looks like anyone that's even related to them at all are all jerks. Well, Sophia Norwich, I should get to the point here, is being ridiculed and being attacked because she's all for the customer and for customer rights. But because she went so far as to break this case, and she went even further by going out of her way to ask people how to best get rid of this spreadsheet. And because she did do that, she contacted people and organizations one after another. And she even went so far after doing that to directly email ESA telling them about the spreadsheet and that they should then remove it. Because they are in a precarious situation that will make their public image and their, look incredibly bad. But because she broke this story and because everyone is now listening to her, the ESA has gone out of its way to attack her. Or rather, Jason Schreier and other game journalists who are basically, I got a word for them, the lapdogs of ESA and other game companies. It looks bad for her. And if you want to, you should go subscribe to her on Twitter or on YouTube. I watched some of her videos and I enjoyed them. As I said before, she went so far as to keep trying to contact people to see if this spreadsheet could be taken down. And she went out of her way to do so. She did so many things that other journalists and other people are reporting on this said she did more than they would possibly do on this. I myself, since I'm not actually really doing anything like this and then only reporting on the fact after everything that has happened, I am basically not sure what I would have been able to do. But I applaud Sophia Norwitz for doing what she has done. And I ridicule people like Jason Schreier for attacking her, or at least going out of his way to drum up some bad feelings for Sophia Norwitz and probably just trying to make an example of her. It does feel like that from what I've seen, but that's only my own opinion. Well, I've said all I can really say about what has happened, so I'll tell you all my usual stick. If you like this video, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you have not subscribed, please subscribe to me on YouTube at Read Comics, They're Bad For You, and go over to BitChute and subscribe to me there. Hit that bell for notifications, hit that like button, leave some comments down below. And also, keep checking back in future videos for more information on my own upcoming independent comic book, Scumdogs. I'm Chris Williams, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video or review. One final note, share this video on any website like Facebook or Twitter. I want to be getting to as many people as possible. If you do, thank you.